The Grenlec Debates. Power, bright ideas.
Welcome to another edition of the 2023 Grenlec Debates. Today, we enter the second round of competition, the round of 16. Please bear in mind that these debates are being done in an impromptu format. This means the students are given the topics and themes to research prior to the match. On match day, the teams randomly select their motions and are given 30 minutes to prepare their presentation without assistance from their teachers. Essentially, they develop their arguments right here. The theme for this round is education. The areas of focus are examinations and the purpose or function of education. I, Kunta Kinte Andal, former Grenlec debater, I'm your chairperson, and I call this house to order. This match is between Grenada SDA Comprehensive and Presentation Brothers College. The motion is, be it resolved that standardized examinations have no place in modern education. The proposition, Presentation Brothers College. The opposition, Grenada SDA Comprehensive.
Under the mood, be it resolved that standardized examinations have no place in modern education, we, the Presentation Brothers College debate team, strongly agree with this mood. I, as the first speaker, will provide definitions necessary for this resolution. My second speaker will continue by speaking about the various school curriculums and various learning styles. Honorable judges, I ask you, why must our education system remain the same as it was before? As defined by Oxford Languages, education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or college. Examinations is a formed test of a person's knowledge or proficiency in a particular subject or skill, and effective is successful in producing a desired or intended result. Judges, audience, I bring to you a troubling statistic. According to UNICEF, every day over 10 adolescents commit suicide between the Latin America and the Caribbean. 10 students die every day. 4,200 deaths a year. Friends are lost. Family members are seen no more. Why? Because a student may feel less of him or herself because he got a bad grade on an exam, when that exam failed to test his individual learning style. Those vary between oral, kinesthetic, and read and write learning styles and visual learning styles. If students have different learning styles, I see a lack of logic why they should be tested in the same way. Students that don't commit suicide are left with low self-esteem, low confidence, and an extremely high suicide rate. Why does this happen, and why must it continue when there are alternatives? The next point I bring to your attention is the pass rates. The education system for years has failed to cater to various learning styles, as mentioned previously. Once again, I ask, why must they be tested in the same way? For example, one term, I had decided that I would listen to various reports based on the subject that was being done, and I failed. The next term, I chose a different style where I would read and write more. The difference was massive. It has been seen that by a lack of evidence, standardized examinations are in no way. Thank you.
Most distinguished judges, worthy opponents, students all, a pleasant good morning. Good afternoon. Today, my teammates and I stand irrefutably against the moot, be it resolved that standardized examinations have no place in modern education. As the first speaker, I will define a few key terms and raise points for this moot. My second speaker will further elaborate. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the word examination means a formal test of a person's knowledge or proficiency in a subject or skill. Education refers to knowledge gained through study or experience. The word modern, according to Nelson School Dictionary, pertains to belonging or suited to the present or a time not long past. With these definitions in mind, it shouldn't be difficult to comprehend why we stand completely against the moot. If not, allow me to elaborate. Standardized examinations are considered a competent way to measure certain aspects of a person's educational level. Standardized tests allow for less probability of subjective bias when scoring tests. They provide a relatively quick and efficient way to access a large number of students' knowledge and skills within a set time frame. Well-designed exams aim to assess the same content and skills consistently, allowing for comparisons of knowledge and abilities across different schools, students, or regions. Exams can serve as a measure of accountability for schools, teachers, and educational systems, ensuring that minimum standards are met. Standardized exams are designed to ensure all test takers face the same set of questions, reducing potential biases and favoritism. These exams help ensure that students are equipped with the foundational knowledge and skills required for success in post-secondary education and employment. According to Entrepreneur.com, 84% of the top 400 wealthy in the world have at least a bachelor's degree. Standardized tests have transparent scoring methods and criteria which are known to educators, students, and the public. This builds trust in the education system. It efficiently assesses large numbers of students. This is valuable for assessing educational outcomes on a broad scale. The evidence is clear. Standardized testing is highly necessary to our education system, not only because of the effective role it plays in our education system, but also because it is efficient and can assess how prepared students are for higher education and the workforce. I thank you.
Judges, worthy opponents, timekeepers, and spectators in the audience, a blessed afternoon to all. According to Martin Luther King Jr. in 1947, the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and critically. This can be done in many other ways rather than the norm we use in today's world. Standardized examinations. He asserted that the goal of education is intelligence plus character. How can the opposition argue with this moot when themselves know that standardized examinations does not cater for everybody? In an ever-changing world of work, the world that the education system is preparing students for, the rigidity of standardized examinations, them only catering for the knowledge-based side of the curriculum rather than the imperative vocational skills, have deemed themselves absolute. For example, the CXC curriculum, which consists of many standardized exams, such as the CPEA, CSEC, and the CCSLC exams. Many jobs require people with training and experience. To you, I ask, Mrs. Chair, does CXC, one of the 3 standardized exams stated previously, provide training and experience to something like plumbing? No! This just goes to show why standardized exams have no place in the education system. According to an article by Eric Connors, We must make the education system an environment where people are encouraged to improve on where their talents lie rather than be judged and feel bad for not excelling in every field. Mrs. Chair, don't let the opponents thwart you with their false statements and claims. Standardized exams really have no place in today's education system. As stated by Dr. Margaret Niles, 70% of students exiting secondary school without requisite certification due to their inability to pass standardized exam. And what is the cause behind this again? Standardized examinations. We need to rise from standardized examinations as a community, nation, region, and a society. To conclude, we, the proposition, stand in full support of the resolution provided today. Thank you.
Most distinguished judges, coaches, worthy opponents, good afternoon to all. My team and I stand in resounding disagreement to the moot, be it resolved that standardized examinations have no place in modern education. Standardized examinations have long been the basis of our educational system. Examinations serve as a way to assess a student's skills, knowledge, and academic prowess. No, we are not saying that examinations are 100% accurate, but no form of education is. We are simply saying that it is an effective, fair means of assessment. Firstly, they provide an objective, standardized measure of a student's understanding and knowledge. According to schools.com, exams provide an equal testing criteria for all. In our world, bias and subjectivity take a forefront in many forms of evaluation. Examination, however, is designed to be impartial, clear, and graded on an established criteria. This ensures equilibrium and a uniform standard for all students. Secondly, standardized tests such as the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, allows countries to compare their educational systems. OECD.org states that the results of PISA have informed education policy discussions at a national and global level since its inception. This can lead to insights and improvements being made on the educational system. Furthermore, examinations enable accountability. Our education system aims to prepare individuals equipped and prepared to face real-world challenges. In conclusion, judges, please, let us all think logically. Examinations undoubtedly remain a valuable and fair method of determining intellectual levels. They provide an objective, standardized, accountable means of evaluating a student's knowledge and critical thinking. As we debate this motion, I urge you to consider the benefits of examinations and recognize that examinations can continue to be a reliable assessing tool. I thank you.
Your first speaker mentioned a statistic stating that 200,000 students die each year due to suicide. But how does this pertain to the moot? How can you prove that it was directly a result of standardized examination?
That's due to the fact that this is the primary form of examination within the Latin America and Caribbean region, with the number being 4,200 deaths per year.
Did your statistics state that this was directly due to standardized examination?
Yes, it did.
Okay, we'll move on.
Your second speaker noted that standardized examination does not cater to everyone, but I ask you, which form of examination does?
Examinations that are solely based on a person's unique skills and skill sets, such as examinations dealing with arts and technical skills, such as plumbing, engineering, mechanics, etc.
As well as catering to the various learning styles.
Okay, so you're saying that every person would be a plumber, every person would be involved in those.
How was that
Farms.
implied in the answer in which we stated?
Okay, so can you repeat?
You posed the question that standardized examinations should should not include persons with technical skills. So we simply saying that there are other means of examining students due to the fact that there are persons who are not as well versed in the academic and standardized based examinations as we stated in technical, mechanical, engineering, and plumbing skills.
In the interest of time, let's move on.
Many jobs evaluate their employees not only based on their experience, but academic prowess. Doesn't a plumber also go to school?
Yes, they do.
Do they not face standardized examinations?
Yes.
Do they not present the results of these examinations to their employers?
But a plumber's standardized examination varies from one of a lawyer, where lawyers' standardized examinations are more theory-based, while a plumber's standardized examinations require them to use the information which they have learned to implement it in the real world.
Does a lawyer and a plumber have the same job? In the interest of time, let us move on.
Your second speaker made a claim on the effectiveness of the standardized examinations, with effective being defined as a successful process in producing a desired or intended result. Why do 70% of students still exit the secondary school without the requisite certification due to inability to pass standardized examinations?
How is the students not being able to pass the standardized examinations, which are the standard, a reflection on why they are not effective?
This is because those very students, while they were unable to pass the standardized exams, still possess the practicality or ability to practice what they learned in the real world.
But the standardized exams show their knowledge in these fields and how they can come up with critical thinking on these ideas. So this is why the standardized exams are preferred.
Thank you. Your second speaker stated that standardized examinations are equal, effective, and fair. Yet how is it that these exams are, as you stated, equal, effective, and fair if they only use one learning style for all students?
This is fair so that no other students can get a different form of learning, testing.
But is it not true that all students learn in different ways?
Yes, but they can be tested in the same way on what they learn.
But how is that effective, equal, and fair?
So can you name just one example of examination which caters to every
We are not
single
required to
student?
answer any questions at this moment. Let us proceed.
Your first speaker mentioned the use of standardized examinations in the education system. However, isn't it highly considered due to a lack of alternatives?
Can you repeat your question?
Your first speaker spoke in regard to the use of standardized examinations. However, isn't that considered so also highly regarded due to a lack of alternatives at the moment?
No.
Then what other forms of examinations that you have evidence for that disprove
With protocol already established, allow me to refute the fallacious statements made by my esteemed opponents. Standardized testing are undoubtedly a valuable and fair method of determining a student's strengths and weaknesses to further develop and emulate knowledge. Thanks to standardized testing, repeat students have a penchant for rising even further than thought possible due to the help gained from weaknesses eradicated once acknowledged via standardized testing. We all heavily rely on standardized examinations for job applications, and it has yet to fail us. Standardized examinations, something relatively new compared to systematic educational institutions. What reasons do we have to say that standardized testing has no place in our current modern education system? We have made it to where we are each of us, thanks to CPA, CSEC, and CAPE. Has education really foregone change, as your first speaker implied? Did schools always exist? Has the education system not changed? What about online learning and testing? What does your first speaker mean by saying education is systematic? Is education not about teaching and learning? Are we not educated in our daily life? The standardized testing for a swimmer is different to the standardized testing for a lawyer. What variety is lacking? Standardized testing? No place in this ever-improving economy thanks to those same testing? My worthy opponents, you are undeniably wrong and at a disadvantaged stance. I thank you.
Good morning. The first speaker of the opposition had stated that 80% of the successful now at least have a bachelor's degree. Yet wouldn't that mean they have had to taken this examination in the past? Yet in modern education today, a degree does not guarantee one's wealth, nor does it or any standardized examination alike have a place in our modern education. Due to the fact that, according to a study taken by www.allisonacademy.org, standardized examinations do not properly test every student's ability or knowledge in a specific field or subject. The second speaker of the opposition had stated that standardized examinations have a place in modern education. If so, then why are education officials like Ms. K. Julian Gutu of the National Training Agency, even Dr. Margaret Niles, a CXC executive, rethinking standardized examinations? Dr. Niles had stated, and I quote, "One of the many inconsistencies in our standardized examination process is the learning loss and exclusion of the different types of learners and students alike." You can even find this information on their website, www.cxc.org. I give you an example. A visual learner will not learn as a kinesthetic learner can. So why should we test them in the same way? Why should we prioritize? Why should we discriminate against other types of learners? Because this is what standardized examinations do. They discriminate. This ineffective, discriminatory test that we call standardized examinations are not equal, effective, nor fair. Esteemed judges, audience, do not allow your vision to be clouded. Thank you.
To the winner of this match, Presentation Brothers College, we say congratulations. Thank you for joining us, and do tune in again for complete coverage of the next match in the round of 16.
The Grenlec debates. Power, bright ideas.